I still have an unhealthy obsession with filmmaking.
Yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about the single Sea Change. Do you remind what was the first moment who came up with it to start with? The song, the melody.
You had it most. You could
It was like
on a tour bus.
Yeah,
actually.
I did, didn't I? It was just a scratchy, like a sketch of a song really, and I played it to Gale. I just did it very quickly in a room at home, and it was the first thing first thing we sort of listened to as new. You know, it's the first new thing that we'd thought about, and so it was always the first track, and it was such a, I don't know, it was a really strong song, and it really made the rest of the album possible. You know, it kind of opened the doors to a new album and set the pace and set the idea. And it's almost like if you do one really strong song at the beginning, it lays down a challenge. You have to then go, okay, well, let's make 10 that make this whole thing a story, you know. So it started out as just a sketch, as they usually do, and then we both went into the studio and just built it up and built it up and built it up until it was where it needed to be, you know.
Do you remember, Gil, what was it that you liked about it? What made it so powerful in your opinion?
It sounded like Tracy Chapman. It sounded like this Tracy Chapman album that we like called Let It Rain. It's quite a unique album for her. She worked with this guy, producer.
John Parrish.
Yeah. And it just sounded like that. It sounded very serious and very strong, and also the backing vocals were very interesting, and it just had a lot of intent, you know. It sounded very confident.
Yeah, for the song, do you recall what was the first line or the title? What was written down for it?
Sorry?
The line or the title for? Do you remember who?
For that song, for Sea Change.
What was it, the first moment that it was written down?
I think it was the first line. 6 billion backs against the wall sets up a very strong idea. Straight away, you're talking about, well, the population of the entire Earth, and their backs are against the wall. Well, why are their backs against the wall? And then, you know, it asks a question, and what I liked about it was it was like a game. It's like a ticking bomb, you know, and you start at 6 billion and it counts all the way down to one, and one individual who's sharing the same concerns with the whole 6 billion, and the concern's the same, which is, what are we going to do, you know? So it was kind of a game really with the lyrics. Its structure is more than just a little story. It's kind of.
But can you remember what triggered this idea, or was it just a line that came into your mind?
As Gale was saying, what triggered it was just the feeling of kind of communal concern, or like communal tension. You know, an underlying anxiety that's growing all the time with. I think in some ways we feel incredibly powerful because we have technology and all these amazing power at our fingertips. At the same time, we feel really powerless to nature. Nature still could crush us like ants if it wanted to, and it does all the time. Massive, amazingly apocalyptic scenes take place every few months. You know,
was there one incident in particular that was maybe triggered this one?
It was more of a series. Just being 30 years old and watching this feeling like a build-up of events, you know, and then just one day sitting down and deciding to make our little comment on it, you know, our little version of events.
Yeah, you did 3 videos, I just heard, for the why 3 and
why 3? We just thought making one video was so boring, you know, and we realised we're not with a major label anymore, we're with an indie label, and things are very different for us now, and we don't, you know, there's no rules. We can kind of do, you know, the label made one video and we said, well, we had some footage that we wanted to turn into a video, and then we got in contact with this guy, this animator that we really liked, and said, well, why don't we commission this guy as well, and let's make 3 videos. Just because we could, really, you know. Videos quite often will just get played on YouTube these days. The whole video system is so different from when we started 10 years ago. They would give someone £100,000 or 150,000 euros to make a video that they'll try and get on MTV, and it might or might not get on MTV. And these days, they don't give anyone any money, but they make them a video and they put it on YouTube. So in a way,
you might as well have as much fun with it as possible because it doesn't actually really cost you anything, and it's just another way of expressing something.
Yeah, I think you did film studies as well.
Yeah.
Is that something you're still in touch with, or?
Yeah, I still have an unhealthy obsession with filmmaking and the mechanics behind it. I'm a bit of a geek, really, about that kind of stuff.
You share that passion, or?
I'm not a geek.
No.
About it at all. No.
He's not. No. As much as I've tried to make him one. I try and enthuse him with technology, and he just glazes over, you know.
Yeah, I kind of. If I'm around, I'm the executive producer shouting big ideas from the background, and he's having to work out what light and everything's needed for my stupid ideas. But I'm not. I definitely wouldn't call myself a filmmaker.
Well, thank you for your time.